boy on Grinders is Chief. We are in the building. It's a TWT weekend. We've got Taylor. We've got Will. We've got TJ. We've got to get these TWT graphics growing because, Taylor, if you're not on, it's usually Tim, and the TWT graphics will still be applicable. Let's get this thing rolling. It's only a handful of games tonight, starting a little bit early, right? Just 4 games, so nothing too crazy here. We did have some injury news. We did get it on time. I think we're still waiting on Harden news, which is probably a little bit important. But outside of that, I think we've got most pieces of information in. Taylor, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. Yeah, I think we have everything except the Clippers, Harden and Norm Powell, both questionable. Yeah. We just got a Wizards lineup, which we were anticipating. The only difference in our projected lineup and the real lineup is we had Jared Butler projected, but it is Patrick Baldwin Jr. instead. Yeah. So get excited for that. And it's going to be a lot of Celtics, a lot of Wizards, and a lot of ugliness, I think, on this slate.
Yeah, I mean, and the Celtics are sitting Jaylen Brown and also Derek White. They're not playing tonight. So this spot might be a lot more interesting than if the Celtics were going to roll out their full lineup, because if the Celtics were playing their big boy lineup against this Wizards team, I may not have had as much interest even on a small slate. But with them being down a couple of their big guys, I mean, I think I'm looking at the ownership with good reason. Tatum's going to be massively on today. Small slate, best spot on the board probably. So I like that as well. TJ, not to try to get into too much of the analysis, but TJ, it's Sunday. Jay Mammon says TWT, the winning team. I like it, Jay. We're going to keep that. The winning team, TWT. TJ, how are you doing on this beautiful Sunday?
Doing very well. Sweating some NASCAR, building some NBA lineups. It's only a 4-game slate, but it's a kind of fun 4-game slate. And just, living life, enjoying every minute. I've been playing a lot of MLB The Show, writing a lot of articles, doing a lot of interviews for Agents of Fandom, and just, trying to enjoy my last moments of freedom and quiet before baby gets here.
I gotcha. Well, there's another baby that's coming, and it's my baby for DFS, and that's MLB. Now, listen, I love NBA. Don't get me wrong. MLB DFS is probably my most fun DFS sport, I must say. I can't get enough of it. It's a long season, and yeah, maybe by the time you get to August, you're like, all right, I might need a little something to spice this up. But MLB DFS, to me, the best DFS sport there is. That is my baby that's coming up, TJ, and it's coming soon. We got about 2 weeks, Taylor, and we will be, let's call it more of a week and a half. Mm-hmm. We will be full-fledged, all in on MLB DFS. That's probably the one sport where I'm equally excited to play on both sites, FanDuel and DraftKings. Sometimes I don't want to play on FanDuel for NBA. Sometimes I don't want to play on DraftKings. Sometimes I play both. MLB, I'm excited to play on both sites every night. I'm excited to get in the props and pick'em streets every night. And I love the sport. And here's what we're going to do. We're just going to go ahead and get our reading out of the way. I'm not going to tee it up and try to be clever. You need to get the Combo Day 3 pass. Ever want to take RG Premium for a test run? Now you can with the 3-day trial pass. Get access to every sport except NASCAR, which me and TJ are sweating right now, at the low price of $19.99. There's never been a better time to join the RG community. So find the 3-day trial link in the description below. Sign up today. Sim Labs, I'm going to talk about that. It's our expert DFS lineup generation tool from RotoGrinders and Fantasy Labs, and now you can use it in NBA with just a few clicks. You can have hundreds of well-built, correlated lineups for whatever contest you're playing. Running out of time before lock. Quickly build a set of lineups to fill out your entries. Want to see who might be falling under the radar? Use the tool to examine players the field might be sleeping on. Note if you have combo and NBA, if you're a combo or NBA subscriber, You already have access to NBA SimLab. And listen, folks, we talked about it. MLB is coming. I'm telling you right now, you want to get the props and pick 'em package before MLB. We are going to make you so much money. Check out the brand new props and pick 'em package. The experts at the RG Protection Team take out premium stats, comb through the market for any inefficiencies. Using the model, you can easily see which lines are off, where to find them, and how likely the prop will hit based on our tool. You can also now try out the props and pick 'em package for a 3-day pass as well. Mental note here, this will auto-renew at the monthly rate once the 3 days are up. Use the description in the link below for a 3-day pass. All right, Taylor, we're talking cash. We're talking NBA. Soon we'll be talking MLB. I'm very excited. I wish it was today. It is not. What are we doing for NBA and cash games?
Yeah, so I guess we'll start with FanDuel.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of Celtics. You mentioned the 3 guys that are missing tonight, Porzingis, White, and Brown. And the Wizards are missing a lot of guys, Koulibaly, Kuzma, Abdia, and Tyus Jones. So first game of the night, 3 of the 4 games have pretty wide spreads on this slate. And the game that has a tight spread has the lowest total. That's Brooklyn, San Antonio. So kind of odd in that regard. The Harden news is also interesting with that being so much. That game is 2.5 hours after everything else. We just got a Celtics lineup: Holiday, Hauser, Brissett, Tatum, and Horford. So the Brissett
Interesting.
thing,
I didn't expect Brissett to start. That's very interesting.
Time to load up more on him. I already had 35%, but now I'm going to get more.
Yeah, we had Pritchard projected to start. So Brissett is 3.7 on FanDuel. I think he's 3.1 on DK. So going to be a good play. I think the issue on FanDuel is he's small forward, and small forward is kind of where the other value options are too, or 2 of the other better value options. So I think he's probably a better play than Champagnie, Justin Champagnie now, but I guess we'll see. So starting at point guard, Drew Holiday, of course, going to get a lot of usage without those other 3 Celtics. He's 7-1 on FanDuel, great spot against the Wizards. I think you lock him into cash. Pritchard, I guess, is going to take a hit now in projections, but he's still 4-1. Still going to see a lot of minutes with White out. We've seen him off the bench quite often this season, still show a ceiling. So he's cheap enough to, I think, be worth it as a cash point guard punt. The other plays at the position are more expensive. Quickly, Jordan Poole, DeJounte Murray. Poole is going to get all the usage for Washington in theory, but, you know, I guess there's blowout risk, but there already was blowout risk, even if the Wizards had their full complement of players, just because they're so bad. So Poole's viable, not a core play, I don't think. I think Pritchard and Holiday is probably what you want to do in cash. Shooting guard Jared Butler not starting. He will also take a hit, but Washington's down to 10. They're thin in the backcourt. He was already playing the backup point guard role, essentially, behind Poole last night. So he's a decent play for 3.7. Shooting guard only, a little bit limiting there, but I think he's fine for cash. I do like Quickly quite a bit. The matchup against Orlando is not a good one, but he's getting all the usage for them with RJ Barrett and others out of the lineup. Not necessarily too expensive either, so I think he's a fine play. Cam Thomas, Mikal Bridges going to get all the usage for Brooklyn, or most of it. They have a good matchup against San Antonio. Even if that game has a low total, it still should stay pretty close, I would think. DeJounte Murray looks good without Trae Young. Going to get most of the usage for Atlanta. Paul George, probably a fringy cash play now. Certainly gets a boost if Harden's out. Ditto for Kawhi Leonard, of course, at the forward spots. So I mentioned small forward being kind of a problem area just because Champagnie, Brissett, and Hauser are all small forward only. I think all 3 are certainly playable. I don't have a strong lean either way. I think Hauser is the one you definitely want. Champagnie I have tagged. I might tag Brissett now over him. Could go either way. They're essentially the same play. Champagnie is a little bit cheaper. Paolo Banchero and Jason Tatum are going to look phenomenal. Banchero is cheaper than he is on DraftKings on FanDuel tonight. Once again, good matchup for them at home against the Raptors. He's 8.7. Tatum, you're definitely playing a power forward for 10-1. He's really the last man standing, essentially, in the starting lineup. He and Drew Holiday. So very easy cash play as a spend on this slate. Should have enough money to pay for him. Victor Wembanyama, you can play him at center, power forward on FanDuel, 11K. Not a must, but obviously I never feel bad about getting to Wemby in any format. happy to look his way on FanDuel. I don't mind Kawhi either. I think he's a good play regardless of the Harden news. They're playing Atlanta. So a good matchup for them. Pace up spot. Bad defense for the Hawks. And a few other centers you can consider. Horford, of course, starting for the Celtics. Wendell Carter. Didn't mention this, but Jonathan Isaac is out, so his minutes should be a little more secure. Ditto for Mo Wagner. So Carter's not a bad value. And Clint Capella is another cash viable center just because the minutes are a little bit more secure with the Kongwu out, and he's been good per minute. So I think that kind of sums up FanDuel cash. I think you're muted, Will.
Yeah, that's what I was holding up that finger. I was like, give me 1 second. I am muted. I caught myself. I'm not just rambling. I promise. Heck of a breakdown by Taylor. And I love the call there with Banchero. I think everybody's going to play Horford tonight. I'm not sure if everybody's going to play Banchero. I really like him a lot tonight as well. TJ, tournaments, what are we thinking?
All right, just updating my lineups, and they are now in and uploaded on DK today. Starting at the point guard position, I think there are a lot of interesting ways you can go here for tournaments. Holiday would probably be, now that Pritchard's not starting, we're probably going to see his ownership drop a little bit. I like the idea of going instead of going Holiday, bumping to Pritchard here. He's still going to be highly owned, but I think it's not going to be as high as it was before. And I don't think we're worried about minutes at all, because even if he's coming off the bench, he's still going to play a ton. He'll probably play more in a blowout if he's coming off the bench. So I still like him a ton. And then Bones Highland at 4,700, basically just taking the gamble that Harden is going to be out. And if he is going up against the Clippers, Bones is going to be just as good of a value as any of these Celtics or Washington guys are. So I love some Bones Highland in tournaments today at the point guard position. And then going up to guys like DeJounte Murray, playing somebody like Emmanuel quickly. That's going to be very different today, so I don't mind that either. Shooting guard position, a few of the guys I already mentioned, like DeJounte. I really like Cam Thomas today. He's one of my favorite tournament plays on the slate. Paul George, same thing. He's fine as he is, but he gets a big bump if Harden's out. And then because they're both 8,500 at the shooting guard position, if you actually get Harden in, you can pivot to him at incredibly low ownership today, because like he's projected for 20%. No way he's going to be 20%. So I don't hate that as a potential tournament pivot there as well. Small forward position. Kawhi, one of my favorite tournament plays on the slate. Same with Paul George. Cam Thomas, you can play him here too. Those are going to be probably my three favorite tournament plays at the position. Sam Hauser, obviously a fantastic play. Don't mind getting to him at all. If you're playing a Champagny today, make sure it is not the San Antonio Champagny, and it is in fact the Washington Champagny. And then Osei Brissett, now in the starting lineup. I think he's an absolutely fantastic play. He had this projection earlier in the day, and he had like a 60% optimal rate with it. So I don't think you're crazy if you want to just have three small forwards in your pool on FanDuel and have them be Brissett, Baldwin, and Champagny, and then just try and play these other guys like Cam Thomas, like Paul George, like Kawhi Leonard, like Jason Tatum. Get them at other positions. Just have those three super cheap guys there. And then it just makes the rest of your lineup building really easier. At power forward, you can get Tatum, you can get Kawhi, and of course, my favorite tournament play on the entire slate, Victor Wembanyama. We have all the salary in the world. We have all the value in the world today, so he's incredibly easy to get up to. You can play him at power forward. You can play him at center. He's not in a great spot. He doesn't project very well, but I will say Kelly Olynyk is always a really big boom-bust player, and he's going to be one of the lowest owned plays on the entire slate. And so I don't hate the idea of taking a tournament shot on Kelly Olynyk, either at the power forward or center position. At center, I like Wemby as my favorite option here by a fairly wide margin. I like Mo Wagner as a potential tournament call. Same with Xavier Tillman or even Luke Cornett. Both of them could have very big ceiling games here. And if you're running 150 lineups, I think you keep Daron Sharp in your pool. That San Antonio could get ugly. Claxton could get in foul trouble. This is a guy that has a massive point per minute rate this year, and he's not going to play many minutes probably, but if he does, you can see there's these big 30-point outlier games available. So if you're running 150, I think you keep him in the pool.
All right. I love those calls. Taylor, we're going to go ahead and hop over to DraftKings, and then we'll try to get these questions rolling for the people if they have any. I have been checking we don't really have a lot in the we don't have any in the live stream chat right now. So everything will be coming from YouTube once we start, unless something changes. Taylor, DraftKings, over to you, my friend.
Yeah, so we got Brissett up to 22 minutes. We still have Pritchard at 30, even off the bench. So still certainly in play, like TJ was saying. Minute should be safe for him. Let's look at the Washington thing real quick with Baldwin. We have Baldwin at 28 minutes. He's 3.6 on DK. Definitely playable, but we have enough value to where he's not remotely a must because there's some uncertainty there. Let's see. Point guard on DK. Peyton Pritchard, just mentioned, 4.6. Looks really good. Ditto for Drew Holiday. I think you want to play them both in cash. Jordan Poole, point guard, shooting guard eligible, which is handy on this slate with all those other guards we were talking about. Jared Butler, still cheap. Mentioned him on FanDuel. Another point guard only consideration. Not probably a core play in cash just because we have all the other value. I think it's an interesting quickly spot, but I do think he's more of a tournament play tonight. Shooting guard, same guys, Sam Hauser, Champagny. You can both play at shooting guard. Champagny, shooting guard only. It's Justin Champagny for 3-1, not Julian for the Spurs. Pool over here, I think Cam Thomas is interesting just from a usage standpoint against San Antonio. Not a bad spot for them. Probably doesn't quite make the cut for cash either, though, but I think he's playable if you land there. Small forward, Tatum, you can play here. Hauser, Kawhi Leonard. I like Leonard and George quite a bit. I was kind of saying the matchup against Atlanta is good enough to where you can play them regardless of Harden. Obviously, if Harden was out and we had the news early, they would both be more popular than they are now, but still definitely cash viable at their respective salaries tonight. Tatum and Hauser are certainly the musts you want in cash. Banchero still getting in the lineups, even though he's 9K on DK. Same spot he smashed in the other night. Don't mind paying up for him just because we have plenty of money to spend tonight at power forward. Baldwin, Horford, Brissett, all power forward eligible. Baldwin's actually getting into more lineups than Brissett just because I think we have him projected for more minutes than Brissett right now. I think I would still lean Brissett, but I wouldn't fault you if you played Baldwin over him. Mo Wagner kind of fell down the pecking order a little bit as the day went on, but I think he's still cash viable just because he's cheap and going to, in theory, see some more backup center minutes with Isaac out for Orlando. And center Horford, I mentioned, Wendell Carter, Wembanyama, center only on DK, but still looks good even though the matchup's not optimal. Rashawn Holmes starting at center for the Wizards again. Still cheap on DK for 4.6. I think we have him in 30 minutes, so don't mind that. Without Porzingis, the Celtics aren't as formidable inside. So plenty of value, plenty of guys to pay up for, and I think it kind of builds itself on DK.
Absolutely. TJ, over to you for tournaments.
All right, let's do it. Point guard position today, even though he's coming off the bench, Pritchard's still going to be my main guy. Got him in 60% of my lineups. Holiday and Poole are kind of 2A, 1A, 2A, 2B for me. And then Bones Highland, I want to get as much of him as I can just in case James Harden is out. I'm getting some quickly, getting some Butler, and then also DeJounte Murray in tournaments just because I don't think you want to X out any of the spend ups today. We have so much great value. Just keep all of them in the pool so you can mix and match them. Shooting guard, Champagny and Hauser. I'm getting about 50% of both of them. Jordan Poole, 40%. And then George, Thomas, and Gary Trent, last guys in my pool. Don't really feel like I need a ton of Trent, but he's a guy that can get hot and put up a good score, and it's just only a 4-game slate. Tatum, Hauser, the top two guys at small forward. Then it's followed by the Clippers, Kawhi, and Paul George. Fine on their own. And then if we get Harden out, even better. Franz Wagner, I'm getting to a little bit as well. But as you can see for me today, a very, very tight pool. Power forward, O'Shea Brissett, Jason Tatum, Patrick Baldwin, top three here by far. Trying to get to as much Kawhi and Banchero as I can. And then Horford and Kispert, they're lower on the priority list for me. But just because the pool's so small, still getting to a decent amount of them. Finally, center position, Wembanyama is my highest owned player on the slate. Horford is number 2 at the center. And then after that, this is the place I'm least confident in outside of Wemby. So I'm just mixing and matching a bunch of different plays. Tillman, Holmes, Claxton, Cornette, Wagner, Jonte Porter, Jalen Johnson, and then one team with Omarui on it.
All right, TJ, that covers tournaments. We're going to start taking questions. Going to try to hop in. We've got 9 minutes. I'm going to scroll back up. I just dropped my phone. That's what you heard. I was trying to text my wife back. She was letting me know she just got off the exit. She's driving back home. So here we go. Champagne or Amarui for a FanDuel punt. Which one are we going with?
Champagne for sure.
Champagne. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. It's this from Butthole Jacobs. I'll give this to TJ. This might be slightly well, both of you take a crack at this one. Is 4 Celtics too much? TJ.
No.
No.
Nope. Okay.
Definitely not.
All right. Infinite. Rashawn Holmes or Sohan. If I keep Holmes, I can get Wemby, George, and Leonard FanDuel cash. Your thoughts, Taylor?
Yeah, I would do that. I think Holmes is definitely in play for cash.
Okay. Brian Marshall, DKGPP's Baldwin, Kawhi versus Mikal Bridges and Jones. He has Wemby.
Baldwin and Kawhi. Baldwin and Kawhi.
Okay. Nick Ghani or Johnny, one of the two. Besides Tatum, who's your second spin for DK Cash, Taylor?
Banchero or Wemby, I think.
Okay. All right. Got it. Hopping into the live stream chat. This is from Aside 12. FanDuel Cash 2v2, Taylor. Suggs Brissett or Pritchard Kispert? I think that's a great question. Suggs Brissett, Pritchard Kispert.
I think it's Pritchard Kispert. Not really psyched about Suggs.
Gotcha. Beaner 1290 in the live stream chat for FanDuel Cash. Which center do you prefer, Taylor?
FanDuel Cash, Wembanyama, I think. If you're looking for a cheaper one, Horford or Wendell Carter. But Wemby, if you can get to him, looks fantastic.
Okay. NBA DFS. I think NBA DFS has been around a long time. I might be wrong, but I feel like he's been around a long time. Hauser, Mikal Bridges, or Baldwin, Kawhi, DK Cash, Taylor.
What was that one more time?
Hauser and Mikal Bridges, or Baldwin and Kawhi, DK Cash.
Baldwin, Kawhi.
Okay, here we go. Going back to the YouTube chat, Infinite, Brissett or Baldwin, FanDuel Cash, Taylor.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I think I still lean Brissett, but I don't think you're wrong either way.
Okay, gotcha. King Dash, last man in, 3,700 FanDuel Cash. I'm assuming that's the same Brissett Baldwin question, almost. But Taylor, where are we at there?
He didn't have a position for that?
Nope.
Yeah, I think Baldwin and Brissett are both in that range. Jared Butler.
Okay.
Yeah. Champagne.
Okay. TJ, over to you. Is there a 3K Boston player that is viable tonight? That might be spicy. TJ likes spicy. Any 3K punch you're playing for Boston?
Not 3K flat. No, closest you can get is Brissett at 3-1.
Okay, Taylor, King Dash says that was a shooting guard position at 3,700. Going to go ahead and cover this question right away. Zubac, any Zubac love on DK, TJ?
Not for me today, no.
Okay, Taylor, like I said, King Dash was saying that was 3,700 on FanDuel Cash at the shooting guard position. Anybody you like?
Yeah, I think that's Jared Butler.
Okay, all right. Beaner 1290, we're back in the live stream chat. Will you fade Holiday and play Pritchard instead for FanDuel Cash, Taylor?
I think you can. I think pairing them is probably the way you would want to go, but yeah, I think it's viable if you don't play Holiday.
Wow,
Okay.
I gotta put maybe not. I'm just gonna leave it. But I was gonna say I gotta put that team in more. I just built a team that I absolutely love, but we're just gonna leave it. Where just because I love it doesn't mean it's necessarily gonna do well. But I've just made a team that I do like quite a bit.
Yeah, and we have answered all the questions. I don't have anything now. Aside is typing in the live stream chat as we speak, but generally speaking, we are all caught up. We've caught up with all the questions. So this is fantastic. This is fantastic. Nothing's hanging out there, so it should be a good day. Brian Marshall says, "Thanks, guys." Brian, thank you for the support, brother. This thing doesn't exist without you, so we appreciate you coming in over the weekend. Looks like we got about a little over 600 viewers on the weekend. So We sure thank you guys for heading up to lot with us. This has been fantastic. Aside comes in with a question almost at the buzzer here. FanDuel Cash 3v3, Vassell, Champagne, and Claxton, or Trent, Kispert, Wemby.
Second one.
Oh.
Yeah, just because you got Wemby. Tiebreaker, I think.
Got it. Infinite coming in. Man, a lot of cash questions today. We're playing a lot of cash for a 4-game slate, guys. I'm shocked at this here. Infinite says Kretsky or Hunter, DK Cash.
Krejci or Hunter?
Yeah.
Neither, but Hunter.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Cleveland Picker does not specify. TJ, this is yours. Olynyk, Carter, or Shohan Horford.
Olynyk, Carter. Who is Carter?
Wendell?
Wendell, yeah, Wendell Carter Jr. I don't know why my brain, the junior made it so my brain wouldn't click just Carter in there.
Yeah.
But I would actually go Olynyk Carter in that one.
He was talking about Jay-Z, by the way. Just kidding. Vincent DeMarkey says Grady D or Hauser. TJ, Grady D or Hauser?
Hauser.
All right. King Dash was able to fit Wemby, Tatum, George, and Leonard and FanDuel Cash. Fire emoji. Get Steinerized. That's a great name. Get Steinerized. Don't forget to click the like button. Thank you. Going back to the live stream chat, we're 2 minutes out as of my particular feed here. George or Butler for FanDuel Cash. He has Wemby in there. George or Butler for FanDuel Cash.
I mean, they're vastly different prices, so that's an odd one.
No.
George. George straight up if it's a 1v1.
All right. Blake 182 Rue, Franz Wagner, and Amir Coffey, or I'm assuming Paul George and Jaden Springer, DK, TJ.
Don't play Jaden Springer, I don't think, but the George one.
Okay. We're 2 minutes out from lot, folks. If you got any questions, please drop them in there. I don't see anything popping at the moment. So I think we've helped everybody that we can. We're not running away from you, folks. We're going to hold this thing to lot. I'm just making sure. Last man in. This is coming from David Denani. David Denani. Last man in. Hauser or Pritchard? TJ.
Pritchard.
Cleveland Picker. I think he's just making a comment here. Is this the slate, guys, where Tatum, Horford, Holiday start, but they exceed my minutes to the backup? I think he's saying they basically they start, but the backups get all the minutes. It's possible, but they're down a lot of guys. I mean, they're down Porzingis, they're down White, they're down Brown. I'm assuming they're going to play. Taylor, TJ, any thoughts?
I don't hate it. I did just make maybe not going full backups, but I made a lineup that I love. That one I was just talking about had Hauser, Pritchard, and Brissett as my only Celtics.
Okay, I'm going to squeeze this one in for Beaner, net 1290, right under the buzzer. Mo Wagner, George, Pritchard, 3v3, or Holiday, Butler, Horford. Mo Wagner, Paul George, Pritchard, or Holiday, Butler, Horford. Taylor.
First one.
Okay, first one Beaner. Get that in, and we have hit lock. That is locked, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you joining us for a TWT weekend special. That stands for the winning team. Shout out to Jay Mammon for putting the stamp on this thing. We appreciate you. We love you. Going to close this one out like Rob. You have been crunched.